Can you believe everything you see on YouTube? Today we'll find out. Welcome to another edition of Freedom Hillbilly and keeping YouTubers honest. We're going to see whether this guy, and this guy were telling the truth when they said this will be an easy fix. So let's dive into it. So this is my 2000 Chevy Silverado long bed extended cab V8. Don't know which L version of the engine that is. Doesn't matter for what we're doing. For the longest time we've had the issue where the tow haul switch, which I didn't even know what it was until a year after I got the vehicle and towed like, I don't know, half dozen cars. Yeah, this is supposed to activate, the button's right here. It's supposed to activate a towing mode. Don't exactly know what that does, but something to do with the transmission. So let's show you. There's the dash. I'm going to be pressing the button. Nothing's showing up on the dash. It's supposed to get a little light that says tow haul or show like a little icon in orange or amber. But the other day I got a jump and the light came on magically, and I'm like, and the transmission was doing funny things like we're revving higher and staying in gear longer or something like that. I wasn't towing anything, but I drove around, said, okay, well, I'll check the YouTube, see what they say. They said it's easy. And today we'll find out whether that's true or not. Let's dive right into it. So let's see here. You're gonna have to remove this dash piece. You're gonna have to remove the underneath part of the dash piece right here. You need your key because you're gonna have to move the steering wheel up and down. The other tools you'll need, T25, trim removal tool, and 7mm socket. That's what I was told. We'll find out. All right, the first thing we want to do on the lower panel, there's two 7mm screws, one here and one here. Let's see if they come out easily like they said it would. Well, my battery's a little cold and anemic. There's one. You should have a little magnet tray too, which I forgot. Wow, that came out easy, and there you go. Now it's lost. All right, so we got a little magnet tray. Let's see if we can find that. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's go up to the top panel. There's no screws on this, but it helps if you have a trim removal tool so you could pry right on the lip of this, get behind it like that, and then you could start pulling with your hand like so. Just give it a firm, quick tug. Oh, if you get any of these things hanging on your dash, take them out. All right, so and you want to do the same thing on this side. Get up behind, oh, look at that, it's already out. Oh, anticlimactic. All right. Tug. Now, lower your steering wheel. There we go, steering wheel lowered. And let's turn the key and pull the shifter down so that we could have the dash piece clear it. There we go. Now we gently push that aside. All right, now put the steering wheel back up. There we go. Shifter back in park, turn the key down so we don't run the battery down, and we'll actually be able to start the car in the 20-degree weather. And this guy, same thing. Give it a good tug. Okay, and the other side as well. Whoops. Ideally, you're not doing this with a camera, so that won't happen. Let's carefully set this aside so it doesn't get damaged or scratched. Now, here on the steering wheel, we have a top cover and a bottom cover. There's two 25mm torque U's holding it in place. One screw right over here. That T25 should be one up there. And this is not really, there it is. You might need to get a screwdriver instead of a bit like this. The next thing is this little lever to move the thing up and down. You got to give it a firm yank out, like so. And now we could separate the two pieces. We could take this guy, the keys out for now. These also snap together, so get yourself a little flat blade screwdriver and see if you could snap the two halves apart, or otherwise pull them apart. There's also two little hooks on the back side, so don't yank the back down, yank it from the front down. So I've been told. There we go. Just manhandle it a little. And there you go. See, this is what I mean. We got the two little, this tab and this tab here that kind of go in and hook and then pivot. So pull it from the front down. That's that. Now let's just put this in, not all the way, just a little bit of the way to be able to pull this down a bit. We just need to get this boot. Now you could buy a replacement one of these, because you see how it gets disintegrated. Unfortunately, you're going to spend about $80. You're going to spend about $80 on one because it also comes with the shifter. Let's look for the wire that's supposed to be broken. Let's bring you in here and see if we can find it. It's supposed to be this orange wire that goes from the shifter, from the button up there in the shifter knob, comes down inside here and goes, there's a little connector, well, a little standoff clip goes down there. I don't see that the wire's broken anywhere. Ooh, this one just popped out. Wonder if that's okay. And then it goes in the bowels down there. So we're going to try and take this little clamp piece off with our screwdriver. All right, so there's a little tab here that we're going to try and get off. Let's pull the steering wheel down so we move whatever this thing is out of the way. It's a very stiff cable thing, like. I don't know if it's a wire or an actual cable. Oh, there, that's where it's broken. You can see right there. I moved this little retainer clip back, just trying to open it. This thing's supposed to open. I could see there's a little seam on it. So, but that's the culprit right there. Oh, there it goes. That's open. You can see the wire is broken. I don't know if you can make that out. Let's bring you in real close. Bring you in real close. You could see that one of the wires is missing. See that? One of the wires is missing right there. So, that's the culprit. It was underneath this little clip, this little retainer, wire retention clip, I guess is the technical name for it, right there. And you couldn't see that it was broken until you opened it up. There's the wire. It goes down into the belly. And I don't know what this little Velcro thing wrap is, but it's coming apart. I could see the other end of the wire. And we could see that there's a connector down there. There's this little Velcro there, which isn't really holding together very well. You can see that there's the connector right here that we got to separate somehow. Well, this is turning out not to be very easy at all. If you try and disconnect that connector, it's buried into the belly of the steering wheel. We brought these guys out, some pliers. See if we can You got this connect. We could get onto there and see if we can hold the other guy in position. Like so. Oops. Uh-oh, I think I'm breaking the wires. Oh, there. I think I got it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's out. I chafed those little, I don't know if you can see, but I don't know if you can see that. You can see some shininess on that lower wire. Okay, not that easy. Next thing we're gonna have to do is loosen that. It's a T30. This is the one they didn't tell you about. And it's on the steering rack. And it looks this is loose. And it looks like someone may have been in here already. Ow! Holy f***, that was sharp. I didn't cut myself, but what the heck is going on? There's a sharp edge on that thing. All right, let's try and get it off with these gloves so we don't cut my finger. All right, there it is. What the heck is going on with this? I don't know. I don't know what I felt, but it hurt. There we go. This just comes right out and pulls right out. So there we have it. There's the break in the wire right there. And now I have another problem, which is this one here is almost broken. So far, not as easy as that they're all telling you. We do have the part here, and I think this is better done on the bench. Fix this on the bench. So let's do that, and let's make sure that this end isn't gonna break when we put it back in. So another thing we could do is, rather than keep the switch in the end of this shifter, we could route it to somewhere else on the dash. Like that would have been an ideal spot, but that button's used for my transfer tank pump. There's two more places. There's one right here, one here, and we could pop these covers off, you know, and put a switch in, and then run a wire all the way. So you have a dedicated, you know, in-your-face tow button. Because, like I said, that one's pretty well disguised in the arm of the shifter arm. Anyway, let's head over to the bench with this and repair that wire the right way. Well, we got the bench. We got our soldering iron. Oh, yeah, it's cooking. This wire is so fine, I don't know if these will work, but we got an X-Acto knife. We got a wire strippers and a different set of wire strippers. I know they don't really matter which one is which. This is really stiff because of the coldness. Let's see if I can, there we go. The other side now. I don't know how much we should do. I'm trying to do maybe an inch on both sides. Outer jacket. And then, you know, maybe a 1/4 inch of the actual wires. And we can go ahead and clip it off. Being careful not to cut the white stuff. The smallest this stripper goes to is 20. I don't know if you can see that. There you go, 20 gauge, which, oh, and I got a little strand just going off. Just tie it together, twist it. Let's do the next one. Now when you put the soldering iron to this, it's going to melt the insulation back a little bit too. So for example, if we want to tin it a little bit, let's get the solder, put it on the tip. Can't see very well. Insulation is burning back. That's one. Let's do the other. All right. Plus it's really cold out here, so the tip is probably losing a lot of heat. All right, so that's that one. Now let's get this one here. See if we can cut the insulation on this back an inch. Okay, splitting it down the middle there. And I'm going to split it down the middle here. All right. Now let's see if I could peel it back with my finger nail. This is super stiff. Getting one half. There. And getting the other half. Okay, now let's clip the jacket off without cutting the wires themselves. Like so. Now let's strip these guys back. Number, I guess 20 gauge as well. Don't want to cut it. That's one. Yeah, that one just kind of stretched it. Well, let's try it again. These are not very sharp, and they're not really meant for the small gauge. All right, so let's tin those ends. I need my magnifiers. I don't know where I have them. All right, let's improve the tinning on this pair here. It's just there's nothing to hold us down. So let me just put that there. This is so we can already tell that the guys on the interwebs were lying. This is not easy. This is to do it right. Takes a little bit of skill and patience. Let's see this guy. And good eyeglasses, which I don't have. All right. See, that's good enough. Before we continue, let's put the heat shrink tubing on first, because if we solder it first, it's not going to work too well. So O'Reilly's carries a variety pack of heat shrink, and this will be for the outside. Well, we'll try the white stuff and see where that gets us. That and that should go like this and this. All right, now let's see if we can actually make this work. Is that together? I think it is. Bend it over and get our little heat shrink over it, like so. Unfortunately, this black one is going to get in the way. So we're going to have to cut that back a bit. Why don't we try and heat shrink that first? Good. That one's done. Now let's get back to the other one. All right, let's see. It looks good, but then again, I can't see very well. So we'll find out. Get the heat on. Here are the two things there. All right. There we go. And that is that. There's the finished heat shrink. That's good. All right. Now, I'm hoping I just pinched the outer jacket and the wire's okay. I still got to put some insulation on that. We got a fat one. Just put it over this to keep it stiff. That little break in the insulation is not going to be a huge deal if it doesn't get flexed. So let's try and heat shrink this on. The big problem was this little tab right there. And when you push it on, it hooks onto that side, and you have to kind of get under it with a screwdriver to pop up the little tab that engages with this barb. And I couldn't show you that on camera, but go ahead and put this fatter heat shrink on, and hopefully this will keep the wire stiff so that it doesn't flex and then, you know, tend to break those little wires. So let's fire up the heat gun. Well, I'm feeling it now. I guess I should have put one over it first. That cooled down. Hey, welcome back. We're back in the car. Put this back together. That goes in there. Now we'll put a bit of thread locker blue on the little retention screw because it was loose when I went to take it out. So, has this been an easy fix? Well, you decide. If you didn't want to solder it, if you got the replacement part, it would have taken a lot, it would have went a lot quicker, that's for sure. You would have run into a lot less problems. And let's move this down so I can see what I'm doing in here. So again, this is T30 if you're joining late. All right, so there we go. Let's see if I can get this in there without binding anything up. And there's that little piece. We'll just leave it loose so it has, we just don't want it to bind up. We don't want it to bind up when we, you know, move this up and down. Let me get under there and just slip the connector back on and see if this works, and then we'll wrap it up. See if we can get this guy. Get the other plier and push it in, and there we go. So we needed this guy to hold the back end of the connector, and then this guy to hold the other side of the connector, and then we push them together until it goes click. Moment of truth, we're gonna go ahead and turn the key. Okay, now ready, we're gonna push that button. Look at the upper right hand corner. Hey, tow haul, it's engaged. Off, on, excellent. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up, but first, how did our YouTubers do? So overall, I think the YouTubers are somewhat truthful. So fact check, yes. Way to go, guys. The difficult part about this one isn't taking the dash pieces apart. That goes pretty swimmingly easy. The difficult part is if you're going to make the repair on the broken wires and you got to solder them together. Now that is the difficult part. You saw how much I struggled even on the workbench. So if you want to spend the 60 to 80 bucks on the whole shifter assembly that includes a new wire, you might be better off. But if you're cheap, you know, like me, then you're going to struggle with the repair. And hopefully it lasts a little bit. So I think this is where we're going to wrap it up. Reassembly is not such a big deal. There's literally 2 screws. I have 4 screws, okay? So I lied. The 2 Torx that hold the steering wheel covers together. You may not have those 2 screws, but I did. So there's 4 screws for me, maybe 2 for you. Anyway, thanks for staying to the end, and we'll catch you on the next one. Hillbilly out.